no photos. Next time I'm in church, please no photos. Police escorts, everybody passports. It's the life that everybody asks for. It's the fast life, we are on a crash course. What you think I rap for? To push the fucking rap for? But I know that if I stay stunting, all these girls only gon' want one thing. I can spend my whole life goodwill hunting. Only good gon' come is good when I'm coming. She got an ass that'll swallow up a D-string. And I'm top on, true beast things. And I'm beasting off the Riesling. And my nigga just made it out the precinct. We give a damn about the drama that you do bring. I'm just trying to change the color on your moon ring. We rock, baby, we need to try some new things. Have you ever had shoes without shoestrings? What's that, yeah? Baby, these heels. Is that a main rock? Baby, these wheels. You tripping when you ain't sipping, have a refill. You feeling like you running, huh? Let me know how we feel.
Good afternoon, 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins Elite Nena Visa hockey fans who are coming to you live from we've left the Boston area. We drove about an hour west in Massachusetts to take on the Middlesex Islanders from the Jason Ritchie Ice Arena here on a private school campus, the Wichita School. Might be pronouncing that incorrectly, but nonetheless, game number 2 of the weekend is set to begin, and Connor Wilson will step in for the opening faceoff. He'll be flanked by Mason Fritchie and Bingham Green, and it'll come back to number 9, Brady Fritchie. He'll enter in the offensive zone, knocked off of his stick blade. And taking it in behind the Islander net will be the Middlesex Islanders, as they're going to come out through the neutral zone with some speed. 3-on-2 will develop. 13 is going to bounce it out wide. It's going to be shot off the glove the starting netminder, number 33, Luca Thompson. It goes behind the cage, where it's picked up by number 9, Brady Fritchie. Outlet pass beyond the reach of number 8, Connor Wilson, but catching this in flight will be number 4, Mason Fritchie. Pokes it in on the netminder, number 88, wearing the number of Tampa Bay Lightning netminder, Andrei Vasilevsky. And we'll have our first whistle of the game, 14:25, as 35 seconds tick off the clock. Pens were victorious yesterday evening against the Boston Junior Terriers. Score in that matchup was 7-1, but Riker Ferguson on for the draw as the music starts playing here inadvertently, as it goes off of a stick blade, and Gangster's Paradise now comes on. As it comes now high in the zone, top of the circle, it's going to be thrown off of his stick in the slot to number 45, Brooks Skaworski. Now poking it into the Penn zone in the skates of Nico Stark. As he'll kick it to his stick and outlets to Blake Parrish, rolls off his blade. Upton now walks down low. Centering pass goes through everybody all the way up to the top of the circle where Brooks Jaworski on the half wall. As the music's still playing here for some reason. As Riker Ferguson, he's going to enter in 1-on-4, but a defenseman falls down as Riker Ferguson takes it behind the cage. Freshly off the bench, Easton Borman picks it up. It almost has the feel of an NBA game where they have music playing during the game. As it now comes to Brady Fritchie. And thankfully, the scoreboard operator finally turns off the music. CJ Denavisa, he's going to take some real estate. He walks in, snaps in a shot. May have deflected off the stick blade of Davis, but a good opportunity there for Nenavisa. Walking down, taking the real estate that was offered. Snapped in a shot from the top of the circle. And 88 hangs on. And we'll just hope that the scorekeeper does not turn the music back on. I don't know if he's paying attention to turn it off or not. Nonetheless, Connor Wilson now on for the draw, flanked by Borman and Colt Davis. Backside, Nenavisa and Brady Fritchie will be dumped behind the Islander cage, where they'll reverse it back out to the half wall. Stepping down was Nenavisa. It's going to poke out to center, or a foot race between 19 and Brady Fritchie. Fritchie wins that foot race, but all alone in front was number 13. Deflects it behind the cage. 13 now controls, leaves it for a teammate behind the net, gets it right back. That's 13 on the half wall. Stops up, goes low. Centering pass goes off of the stick blade of a teammate for the Islanders. Now Fergie is going to force his man to the wall. Following on is Brady Fritchie. Puck battle now with Fergie and Fritchie. Comes up to the half wall, number 74, Easton Borman. Puts it to the point man, Shuttleworth, who deflects it in deeper. Now at the circle, man from his knees tries to get a shot forward. Cleaning up the mess is number 9, Brady Fritchie. Gives it to Borman. Pens are going to dump it in deep and make wholesale changes of their forward and defensive personnel. 11:57 to play in the first period. And the Islanders now trying to get it out of their zone. Deflects off the stick blade of Fritchie. Stark reverses it right back to Mason Fritchie. Deflects it into the offensive zone. He's got a man go to the net. It's Bingham Green. Fritchie now takes it behind the cage. Forgets one thing, the puck. But following on is Green. As it now comes to the half wall where Connor Wilson tries to poke it along further. Right back up off the official skates and into the gloves of the Middlesex Islanders player. Connor Wilson tries to find that puck now on the half wall. Floats it up to Stark, but the Pens have to retreat back to center. But hopping that is Barnes. And the Islanders come in. And they're going to try Stark. It's going to be shot wide of the cage where Welch is going to come and try to bump that up further. Now comes to Noah Welch. He feathers it back to number 7, Nico Stark. Stark up off the wall. Wilson throws this into space. Now deflected along by Stark. Welch chips it to the stick blade of Wilson. It's going to be a 2-on-1 here. Green stays on side. He's got a man going with him. It's Mason Fritchie. And unable to get a shot away as it's knocked off the stick blade of Wilson. With 10:39 to go, it's CJ Nenavisa collects behind goaltender number 33, Luka Thompson. Up off the half wall to Mason Fritchie. As the Islanders, you can tell, activating their defense, pinching in. But Connor Wilson brings it in the offensive zone. He dumps it deep. He'll go for a change now with 10:24 to go in the first period. Nenavisa gets to that puck first. At the faceoff dot, takes a hook. And it's coming up to the point man, number 25, manning the left side right now is Blake Parrish. Snapped in a shot, goes off of a skate, but it's Nenavisa is able to keep it in the zone along with Ferguson. Jaworski now picks it up on the half wall. He's bumped into. Behind the cage it rolls where it's picked up by the Islanders' left-handed defenseman. Floating it in front of the Islander bench. And 92 is going to try Loya. Big body here on the left winger for the Islanders. Floated off the catching mitt of Thompson, takes it off the cage now. So a couple of saves there from 33. Jaworski, headman pass for Paris is red by 86. But a penalty coming up. That's 92. Behind the play, I believe. Gets rung up for the Pens' first power play opportunity of the day. On to take the draw will be number 8, Connor Wilson. He'll be on with Blake Paris, Brooks Gaworski, Brady Fritchie, and Noah Walsh. Wilson steps in against number 13 to the left of the netminder, number 88. Now comes up on the half wall, chip behind Fritchie. Walsh is going to try and hustle to get up to that puck. And it'll come back into the Pens D zone where Welch on his horse again. It's going to go behind the net. Outlets it to Blake Paris, but it goes under his stick blade. Right back to Welch. Welch now to Fritchie. Where Connor Wilson, he picks up the mail. He's going to skate it himself. Connor Wilson's going to come in with a head of steam. Bounces it outside. Snaps in a shot wide of the cage. Welch hustles over to get to that puck. Welch leaves it for Gaworski. Gaworski stick handles in a phone booth. Goes to Brady Fritchie. Fritchie snaps in a shot just wide of the cage. Rebound pops out to Connor Wilson. Wilson snaps in a shot off the right pad of the netminder 88. Or 13. Takes a fistful of jersey of number 8. 39 to go on the power play here. 8:46 to play in the first period. Pens change up the troops. Riker Ferguson steps in for the draw. Thanks for tuning in on Pens Elite TV. Borman and number 11, Colt Davis on. Backside, Stark and Grant Loya. On the half wall, pinching down is Nico Stark trying to tie up his man. Where Borman goes right back to Fergie. Fergie rolls off of his stick blade. Borman loses the edge and falls down. 27 to go on the power play. Behind the cage come the Islanders right now. Where they're going to float it out. Should be an icing call. And it is. With 14 to go on the power play. 8:21 now to play. And then 92 will be sprung from the penalty box. Big-bodied player for the Middlesex Islanders. Fergie in for the draw right now. On the left side of 88. It's in his skates. He finds that puck, hits it to Grant Loy at the point. Shot off the pants of the Islanders. And they float it back to Nico Stark, but no further. Stark throws it right back in. Ahead of the play, though, number 74, Easton Borman. As the Pens have one more face-off on the power play to go, but a neutral zone face-off here on the near side of the ice. And in 3 seconds, 92 will be hopping out. Back for even action. He has the door open already. As we're back to even action, a 4-on-2 develops here for the Middlesex. As it's broken up by Nico Stark. It goes off of his left shin guard. Now Kareem's behind the net, where Stark bumps it over to Connor Wilson. Wilson's got a man ahead of the play. It's Bingham Green. Just under his stick blade, though, but he's hustling to get to that puck. Green's canceled out. Wilson follows on. Wilson curls out top of the circle right now. Shot off the right toe of the netminder 88. Now on the half wall. Wilson floats it into space. Bingham Green tries to get a stick on it. It does come to Bingham Green's shot. Wide of the cage, though. Fritchie controls on the half wall, tries to reverse it back down deep. Instead, bumps out further to Green. Green to Loya. Loya's going to walk middle. Loya snaps in a shot, deflects off the stick blade of Connor Wilson. Behind the cage now. Fritchie on the goal line. Off his backhand, leaves it for his brother. Brady Fritchie snapped in. It's sitting behind the cage. Connor Wilson finds that puck. Centering pass for Brooks Gaworski. Loose in the crease right now. As it's going to come back to the Penguin zone. And this is an icing call with 6:55 to go in the first. Good jam and pushback here to start this game for the boys in black. Your 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins Elite. Thanks for tuning in. Boys will be back in action against the same Middlesex Islanders team later today, 5:55 from Merrimack College. So as you are setting up your Saturday afternoon plans, be sure to include the 2015 Pens Elite in some of those plans. But Ferguson on for the draw. He's going to win it back to 77, CJ Nenavisa. Ferguson took a spill off that. He gets back to his feet. Right now going down is 45, Brooks Gaworski. Gets back to it, leaves it for Blake Paris. Paris into traffic, snaps in a shot. Goaltender unsure where that is as Brooks Gaworski's leveled behind the cage. Islander player was looking at the referee afterwards with the guilty look of, was he going to be sent right back to the box? But instead, 92 goes up ahead to 11. Fergie wins that battle on the back check. And it's Brady Fritchie. Takes a cross check from 92 again. As Riker Ferguson, 93, he's got speed. It goes off the left skate of Gaworski. Getting to that puck is Fergie. Fergie floats it in through the crease. Netminder, again, wasn't sure where that puck was, as it's outletted to number 63. 63 canceled out by Stark on the half wall. As it's bouncing right now, top of the zone, shot off the backside, 92. Welch is going to skate this forward. As Connor Wilson offsides. Peds had something going. It would be a 2-on-1 that developed. Another offsides call here as Davis in, and Fergie tried to throw it into the zone. So we'll set things up once again. Riker Ferguson, centering pass for Colt Davis. He's coming in 1-on-3. Borman now deflects it further along. Borman's hauled down. Gets back to his feet. Nico Stark on the left point. Trying to dance around some guys. Goes to Welch. Welch high. He's going to put the slap shot into the pants of the Islanders. As Borman now goes wide to Nico Stark. Welch controls on his backhand. Bumps it over to Stark. Stark loses the handle, gets it back up to Connor Wilson. Wilson plays it right back to Nico Stark. Stark, good puck movement here over to Nenavisa. Nenavisa looking for a pathway. He'll play it back to Stark. Stark bumps it to Wilson. Wilson right to Borman. Pens enter into the offensive zone. 4:38 to play in the first period. As Connor Wilson controls on the half wall, floats it up to CJ Nenavisa. Nenavisa down to Wilson. Wilson goes cross ice for Davis. Miscommunication there. Davis left the puck. Works to get it back. Connor Wilson at the faceoff dot. But it's held in by Grant Loya nicely. Davis from his knees tries to poke it along further. Should be an icing call. And it is another icing call with 4:10 to play in the first period now. Once again to the left of netminder number 88. 8 Connor Wilson to take the draw. On with Bingham Green. Mason Fritchie backside, Nenavisa and Loya. Finding this puck is Wilson, tries to float it back to Nenavisa. Comes back to the neutral zone. Nenavisa to Loya. Loya gets his head up. Moves it for Bingham Green. Green from his backhand. Puck is turned over here high in the zone. Comes a 2-on-2 opportunity. Green tries to hook up his man, 27. Pokes all the way through to 27. Blockered away by Luka Thompson. Pens have controlled zone time in the first period. Had some decent opportunities, unable to get behind number 88 in the Islander net. But 43, Grant Loya reverses it to Connor Wilson. Wilson bumps it back behind the Penguin cage. 77. Nenavisa up to Fritchie. Fritchie puts it into space in front of the Penguins cage. Correction, in front of the Penguins bench. And the Islanders retreat back into their own zone. They'll curl behind their own netminder right now. And they'll try the other side. As man curls behind Fritchie, but Fritchie wins that battle. He's going to get his feet moving as he pushes off the defense. Leaves it for Blake Parrish. Unable to get a touch on that puck. The pass was a little bit ahead. So the Pens, I think this is our first icing call of the game against, I should say, with 2:51 to go in the first period. So we'll set things up to the left of netminder number 33, Luka Thompson. 92 Comes in against our 93, Riker Ferguson. Fergie wins that. Welch moves it to Brady Fritchie. Pretty move there. Brady Fritchie's going to lead the rush. Now up, moves it up to Blake Paris. Paris tried to give it right back to Brady Fritchie in a give and go, but that stick gets in there by the Islanders as Welch is able to create some separation. Interference call coming up as 92 going right back to the box after some non-calls on 92. So the Pens have the turkey on the table, 2:34 to play in the first period. He'll sit down for the interference call on number 9, Brady Fritchie. Fritchie, no worse for wear. He's right back on for the offensive zone face-off on the power play. Wilson, Fritchie, Green, Welch, and number 9, Brady Fritchie. It's 1 to Mason Fritchie. Fritchie right back to his brother. He plays it over to Welch. Welch is going to snap in a shot, low, deflects, in on the cage as it's loose and in the net. As it deflected off of a couple sticks and behind 88, referee blows the whistle and the goal's waved off. So we'll set things up once again to the right side of number 88. Wilson on for the draw. Fritchie, Green, Welch, and Brady Fritchie stay on. It's 1 for Mason. Same setup. It's going to be played over to Brady Fritchie. Deflects off the stick blade of Bingham Green no further. As bringing it out of the zone are the Islanders. As 86 going to try and shoot. It goes off the equipment of Welch. And back into neutral, where 86 being hounded by Mason Fritchie. Wilson loses an edge. And Brady Fritchie now collects with 52 to go on the power play. Fritchie to Stark. Stark up to Mason Fritchie. Pens are able to stay on side here as Mason Fritchie leaves it for Nico Stark. Good keep there from Stark, but it's going to be dumped right back out of the zone by Middlesex. 34 now as Grant Loya bumps it to Wilson. Wilson sees that knocked off of his stick. Loya to Stark. 26 to go in the power play. Stark gets his own entry. Comes down the half wall. Now low in the zone. Nico Stark goes behind the Islander cage. Following on is 45 Brooksy Gaworski. Comes all the way up to the point man. That's Grant Loya. Loya walks off the wall. Now tries to move it to Gaworski. Gaworski back to Fergie. 9 to go in the power play. Gaworski top of the circle. Goes cross ice. He's got Grant Loya in deep. Loya sends it across, but they're going to have a man coming out of the box right now. Tries to hit him. But Nico Stark back to go and collect this puck. Stark wins that battle on 92. As we're under 1 to play in the first period. Pens 0 for 2 on the power play right now. 26 enters the offensive zone. Stark moves it for Gaworski. Goes right back to Ferguson. Ferguson being hounded. Ferguson snaps in a shot. Shot blocked. 32 down to play in the first period. Blake Paris works for this puck behind the Islander net. He's joined by Colt Davis. As a scrum deep in the Islander zone is won by the Islanders as it's thrown all the way back into the Penguin zone where number 9, Brady Fritchie gets to this puck. And it looks like that's where things will end here from period number 1 from the Wichita School campus. As at the end of 1, it's your Pens Elite 0 and the Middlesex Islanders 0. We'll be back with period 2 action in a moment. right, period 2 action set to get started here. 15 minutes on the second period scoreboard clock. And it will be Connor Wilson on for the draw, on with Colt Davis and number 74, Easton Borman. Backside is Stark and Welch. As Easton Borman loses an edge. And it comes back to the stick blade of Nico Stark. Flutters along to 11. That is Colt Davis now. He enters the offensive zone. Davis centering pass just in front of number 8, Connor Wilson. Where Borman tried to cycle it back down low. But it's going to go all the way down the ice for an icing call with 14:33 to go in the second period. Offensive zone face-off to the right of number 88 for the Islanders. It's in the skates of Wilson. Digging this out is Borman. Now it comes over to the half wall, where 92 tries to float it along. Comes back to neutral. Nico Stark, he gets to this puck. Tried to move it to Colt Davis instead. Shot all the way into the Penguin zone, where Welch on his backhand leaves it for Davis. Welch is going to skate this. Now moves it for Wilson. Got a man going to the net. It was Easton Borman. Wilson throws it back, but the Pens were changing their D behind the play. Loya throws it back to center as the Islanders have to get back onside with 13:50 to play in the second period. Drop pass there, goes right to the stick of Easton Borman. Borman gets it wide to Davis. Colt Davis to Easton Borman. Orman protects. Rolls off of his stick blade right in front of the Islanders' net as Davis forced to the ground by 92. Surprise, surprise, as 92 initiating some physical action here at the early stages of the second period as 11 dumps it in behind netminder number 33, Luka Thompson. Grant Loy now gets to that puck. He's going to skate it himself. A lot of kids falling today here on this ice as Sullivan will try to work around number 4, Mason Fritchie. Fritchie gets a stick as both players collide into the end wall behind Thompson. Now they're wrestling on top of each other. Pinching down are 2 Islanders players. They bump into each other. Bingham Green collects it now high in the slot in his own deep zone. Moves it to Nenevisa. Nenevisa tries to hit Fergie. Goes in front of him. And it'll be dumped back in deep as 13 dumps it in behind the Penguins' cage. Green, one-touch pass is read by the Islanders as 27 works it back to his defenseman, number 15. Now Nevisa comes over to contest. Grant Loya picks it up on the goal line. Broken stick now on the ice for the Islanders. 12:09 to play in the second period. Comes back to the point man. Thrown in deep once again. As Bingham Green tried to bump it out of the zone, held in by the Islanders. So Grant Loya is going to try and slap it out of danger. Islanders defenseman read that, number 17. As Fergie tries to work it up further. Penn's being hemmed in right now on the shift. Ferguson just going to take the icing call unless this is going to be played on net. It's not. So the Penn's guilty of an icing call with 11:39 to play in the second period. Wilson on for the draw to the right of Thompson. And it will be wound behind the Penguins' cage where Brady Fritchie tries to hit Connor Wilson beyond his reach, though. As the Penguins looking to get out of their own zone. Welch steps on the puck. This comes high to the point man, 33. He works around one guy, 2 guys, as Welch ties up his man. He's going to skate this out. Too soft of a pass, though, as he's trying to hit Brooks Gaworski. Gaworski gets to that puck, moves it to Connor Wilson. as he's able to get behind the Islander defense. Has that shot off the chest and it dropped right down into the slot. Welch looks for this puck. Comes a 2-on-1 opportunity here. Off the back end of Brady Fritchie with 10:52 to play now. Goes off of a couple bodies. Welch off the wall to Blake Parrish. Parrish bumps into a man. Then takes a slash after in a retaliation from the Islanders. Number 24. Brady Fritchie. Able to get that puck to Gorski. Gorski tries to hit number 8, Connor Wilson. Instead, it comes to the stick blade on number 9, Brady Fritchie. He's going to enter the offensive zone. Fritchie snaps in a shot, blocker down, and into the catching mitt of number 88. As 24 takes another shot to the backside of number 8, Connor Wilson.
They just got a penalty. He whacked him way late. They just took another one. We got him.
As 24 is going to...
Yeah, he's taking. I think that's one. Is that his third? That kid's third?
92 had 2 penalties early. It was a retaliation penalty. So 92 picks up his 3rd penalty of the game. USA Hockey rules may be in effect here after 4. 10:19 to play in the second period. So the Pens back to the power play. Need to collect on one of these opportunities. Riker Ferguson. These are for Borman. Rolls off a his stick play. Lloyd gets it right back to Borman. Now comes deep to 86. Toomey crashing in is Borman. He's got a man in front of the net. He's going to try and bring it out himself. Comes out loose. Cole Davis shoots and scores with 10:04 to play. The PPG for PPE. Borman with the strong take to the net. Davis cashing in on the rebound. And it's a 1-0 game. Here in period number 2, the Pens cash in on the power play. And they're rewarded for the bad retaliation penalty from 92. 92 in his box. Nico Stark bumps it up to Easton Borman now as he works it around number 9. Where it comes out the other side with 9:49 to play here in the second period off the back end of Nico Stark. Stark pushes along further where Borman and number 9, they coalesce. As Borman shoved in the wall here. Another extra slash. Some undisciplined play with 9:25 to play here in the second period. It's going to be Colt Davis that enters the offensive zone. He bounces it out wide. He's got a man going to the net and decides to shoot it. It's off the outside of the cage. 9:16 to play in the second period. Where Connor Wilson in the neutral zone floats it into space. Comes to Easton Borman. 2-on-1 develops here. It's Borman. He's got Green on the backside. Goes to Green on his backhand. Green off the right skate. As it goes all the way down the ice. Not far enough for icing. As CJ Nenavisa collects. He'll retreat behind the cage to use that as a shield. Reverses it out the other side. Too far, though, for Brady Fritchie. Fritchie does get a pickle stabber on that and gets it up to Green. Green hits Mason Fritchie's 1-on-3, though. 8:41 to play in the second period. On the half wall now. Fritchie stops up, loses an edge. Gets it to Wilson. Welch pinches in the... Try and keep it in the zone. Now it comes out the other side where on the backhand, Noah Welch is going to enter the offensive zone. Dumps it in deep. Where Connor Wilson comes over to try and get to this puck. But it's Bingham Green high in the zone, controls it. Slapped off the shin guards to number 6. Where Connor Wilson dumps it in deep. He's going to see number 19, Bingham Green, try to get to that puck. Fritchie collides with number 5 as 5 looked around, or 15 looked around to see if a penalty was going to be called. Nico Stark able to prevent that play from developing as he got a stick in there at the last second. Now he's being harassed in front of the Islanders bench where Welch Sees 92 reverse it out the other side.
Save Luca.
And Luca Thompson had to be aware there to shut the door. 92 used his long reach. But 33 Luca Thompson was not fooled. As we're at the halfway point of the second period, 1-0 the score. As it's controlled by number 43, Grant Loya. Deflects off an Islander stick. Hustling for this puck was Blake Paris. But it's controlled by the Islanders right in front of their own net. It's 33 being pressured by Gaworski. Back to neutral. And into the Penguin zone come the Islanders. As 11 on the half wall. Will be put in the wall. And the retaliation penalty as Fergie angled his man to the wall. So body contact penalty could be assessed here to Riker Ferguson. Penalty box door not opening yet. So the Pens will have to kill off the penalty. They're going to give Riker Ferguson a double minor. As they have 3 minutes up on the board. As afterwards, Fergie took a cross-check retaliation. Don't believe that will be called. As the penalty now comes off the board. So this will be I believe a major. So it should be a 4-minute penalty or a minute 30. It'll be a 4. So the Pens have some work to do here on the PK. As the penalty killing unit on right now is Paris, Gaworski, Nanavisa, and Loya. There's a good stick by Nanavisa. Now comes to the half wall to Paris. Paris tries to dump it back to neutral. Held in by 17. 17 takes the real estate. Snapped in on net. Crashing for a rebound with the Islanders. Good stop there from number 33, Luca Thompson. 3:34 to go on the penalty. 92. Shot off the stick of Blake Paris as he gets in that shooting lane. Back to the left point. 33. Pressured by Gaworski. Moves it to his D partner, 92. 92 walks in. Looks for a stick. And into the catching mitt of Luca Thompson. Is crashing the net there where the Islanders looking for something. 6:11 to play in the second period. 3:13 to go on the Riker Ferguson penalty. From a now very silent Jason Ritchie Ice Arena. As we'll do things all over again on the left side. This time it comes to the stick blade number 9. Brady Fritchie. Fritchie has that knocked off of his stick blade. 92 looks to center this. And that's shut down once again by Luca Thompson.
Defensive play by Noah Welch. I'll say it for him. Great play by Noah Welch.
With 3:02 now on the penalty. 6 minutes even here in period 2 action. Now One to Brady Fritchie, rolls off of his stick blade back to the point man. They go D to D to 17. 17, he delays to 92, top of the zone. Tries to go low. The Islanders, they play catch. Still staying to the perimeter with 2:46 to go on the Riker-Ferguson penalty. Now on the half wall, top of the circle. Islanders going around the perimeter as it's shot into the equipment of Welch. This has his stick being held as it was clamped down on with 5:21 to play, 2:22. 92. Dumps it down to the half wall to 33. 92, top of the zone. It's going to shoot it in off the shin guard of Borman. As Borman tries to tie up his man. Now back to 92. Off the glove of Thompson as it dips down into a couple of sticks. 33 shoots it off the backside of Brady Fritchie. Fritchie able to get it out of the zone. It's an opportunity for Easton Borman, shorthanded. As the Pens are going to change some of their PK unit. 1:41 now to go on the Riker-Ferguson call. Islanders still sticking with the same power play unit out there. It's going to be a 2-on-1. Wilson's got Davis going with him. Wilson, he delays. Wilson goes to Davis. Good shot there from Davis. That's the good look from Wilson to Davis.
Let's go. Good job, boys.
As the Pens had two shorthanded opportunities. 4:26 now to play. Offensive zone faceoff, but still shorthanded for the next minute 28 as Bingham Green is on with Davis, Nico Stark, and number 43. That's Grant Loya. 24 will step in across from Bingham Green. Correction, 92 steps in. '92 has been on for this entire power play. As it comes back to 24 up to 27. Speedy little player as Nico Stark confronts him. It's floated for 92 in the soft spot. Gets in a shot, shut down by Luka Thompson. 1:14 now to play. On the penalty kill. 4:07 in the second period. Bingham Green tries to get a stick on the Islander player. Now coming over to help out is Nico Stark. It pops out to Bingham Green. Green on his backhand is rubbed out. As there's 53 now on the Riker-Ferguson measure. As this should be an icing call, and it is. With 44 now. 44 ticks to the clock. On the Fergie Major. Pens leading 1-0 right now. 3:43 to play. Another offensive zone face-off after the icing call. To be taken by number 4, Mason Fritchie. Up front with Gaworski. Backside, Loya, and number 7, Nico Stark. Barnes, number 6, steps in against Fritchie. He's able to win this draw back to Gaworski. Gaworski to Fritchie as they set that up before the face-off. As Fritchie bumped into. As the Pens able to take a little bit more time off of this PK. As Fanning on that was 6, but he gets that puck back. As puck comes cross ice here, shot taken. Shut down by Thompson on the initial opportunity, now behind the cage. Top of the circle, now top of the zone, 24. Tries to go across the 6. 6 holds it, 4 to go on the penalty. As it's shot in off the right pad, back to 5-on-5 action here as the Islanders unable to cash in on the power play. But they still control behind the cage now. If they pop it out, shot. Fanning on that shot attempt. Comes right back to the player that took that shot. Now back to the point. Number 6. Fluttering shot. As Grant Loya. See if the Pens can reverse some momentum here after the big penalty kill. Mason Fritchie. Dumps it in deep. Good penalty killing effort by number 4. As Fergie sees Brady Fritchie try to get to that puck. Thrown back to the stick blade of Blake Paris. And it's going to be turned over to the stick of Easton Borman. Shot over the cage, but the rebound comes right back to number 74, the left-handed winger. Borman Curls out in front, rolls off of his stick blade, and dump back into neutral. Where Brady Fritchie winds things right back up. The Pens right back in on the attack. Curl move. Fritchie awaits some reinforcements. Shot in through the screen of Borman. As the Pens getting the engine fired up here late in the second period. 1:51 to play. Huge penalty kill to get out of that major penalty situation to leave it scoreless. Or I should say, blanked on the Islanders side. 1-0 lead for the boys in black and gold. Wilson on for the draw. He's up front with Parrish and Green. Backside, Nenavisa comes to Nenavisa. Back into the Penguin zone. And in front of the Penguins bench. Wilson picks the pocket. He's in all alone. Connor Wilson, blocker save by 88. As Nenavisa pinches down to hold the zone. Goes to Bingham Green. Green comes all the way through to Brady Fritchie. But he collided a little bit with Blake Parrish. As the Islanders walk into the zone. Deflects off of a stick blade behind the cage where Nenavisa tries to move it further. That's picked off by the Islanders. Where Connor Wilson on his backhand moves it further. Easton Borman centers for number 9, Brady Fritchie. He's going to start the rush, takes a slash. As Brady Fritchie wins that puck battle. Borman centers, nobody home though, as the Pens are changing behind the play. 92 delays. Nico Stark cancels out the Islander winger, number 11. Following on is Easton Borman. Ward's bump behind the cage to Welch. Moves it to Davis. Davis tries to float it up to Wilson. That's picked off, though. As the Islanders are going to try Stark. Stark wins that battle with 17 to go in the second period. Now they try to play a give and go move where that's read by the Penguins. 8 to go in the period. Easton Borman's going to bring it back to the neutral zone. Icing waved off as it softly rolls behind the Islander cage. And that'll be it. Period number 2 ends with the Penguins leading 1-0. And we'll be back with period 3 action in a moment. All right, period 3 action. Thanks for joining us on Pens Elite TV. No matter where you're watching, Pittsburgh, Philly, or beyond. There's some fans watching in Georgia as always, but a big shout out to somebody watching in Wheeling, West Virginia. Hopefully he's feeling better right now as the Pens miss the talented defenseman number 37, Ambrose Papuano. So our best wishes to number 37. Hope to see you back in black and gold very soon as Mason Fritchie brings it in the offensive zone. Off the stick blade of Riker Ferguson, and the rebound's put in by, I believe, number 43, Grant Loya. It is Loya. Give him a wing. Grant Loya gets the goal with 14:35 to play. Crashing the net. number 43, Grant Loya. Loya here with a big cheering section. A lot of family members in the house to watch 43 get the goal, and it gives the Pens a 2-0 lead. Puck is dropped, play back underway as it's poked behind Enavisa. Fergie on the back check, angles his man to the wall again. But it's Fergie that goes down as Loya cancels out number 7. Mason Fritchie walks right back into the Islander zone as he's boarded as the cross check came up high to the back of the head of Mason Fritchie. It's right here. As we'll see if this is going to be a major penalty or not. But this may be, unfortunately, a situation calling the game by the score. As I think my gut says this is just going to be a minute 30 that gets put up. As the cross check came in right to the back of the head. Could be a boarding call, could be a cross check call as 7. And it will be a major penalty. The turkey is on the table once again for the Pens elite. Connor Wilson on for the draw. As this will be taken to the right of netminder number 88. Gaworski, Paris, Fritchie, and Welch join number 8 Connor Wilson. So with 14:05 to play in the third period, here from the Jason Ritchie Ice Arena, the Pittsburgh Penguins elite will have a 4-minute major power play. Connor Wilson wins that draw, comes to the stick blade of Welch. Welch is going to walk in. He delays, bumps it down to Wilson. Wilson plays catch with Welch. Welch right back to Wilson. Goes beyond his reach. As it's being pinned to the wall now by the Islanders. Wilson walks off the wall. Wilson walks in, snap low. Right pad save from 88. As it comes to Welch. Welch has some time here. He's going to walk the line. Goes across to Brady Fritchie. Fritchie bumps into a man. And it's left for Connor Wilson. Wilson walks off the wall. Wilson snaps it. Right pad save. Deflects to Brooksy Gaworski. Gaworski snaps in a shot. That's shut down. As it went off the Islanders defender. Gaworski controls on the half wall. Tries the give and go move. Instead it comes high to Welch. Welch is going to leave it for Wilson. As it comes back to center where it's corralled by number 25 Blake Parrish. Parrish quick ups to Gaworski. Gaworski wide to Brady Fritchie. Pens are going to change some of their power play unit. And one of those guys is Nico Stark. And he'll hustle to get to that puck. 2:48 to go on the power play. Stark, good skating behind the net to reverse things up for Grant Loya. As Loya harassed by number 11. The Pens are going to have to go 200 feet back into the offensive zone. Loya's going to lead the way. Loya up to Colt Davis. Calling for this puck is Ferguson. Ferguson hooked at the last second. Borman. He tucks in the rebound. Easton Borman. It's a PPG for PPE. Off the stick blade of the Plum product, number 74. Easton Borman. As the Pens were able to go quickly up the ice. Loya to Davis. Davis to Ferguson. Ferguson. See that puck roll over to Borman. Quickly snaps it into the back of the net behind number 88. And it's a 3-0 lead. And the Pens, because of the major penalty, they killed off one earlier today. Now the beneficiary. This penalty will continue, and the power play will continue as the Pens have a 3-0 lead with 12:30 to play. As the icing call will be assessed. 11 with the extra shove there to the backside of Loya, and the Pens will be content to go 200 feet down for another offensive zone faceoff with 12:28 to play in the third period. It'll be Ferguson, 93, steps in for the draw, flanked by Borman and number 11, Colt Davis. Backside, Loya and number 7, Nico Stark. As it's set up on the right side of netminder number 88. One back cleanly to Stark. Stark right to Loya. Loya right back to Stark. Stark tries a seam pass, comes all the way through to Borman. Right idea as he tried to hit the one-timer. As Borman knocked to the ice. Walking off the wall, though, is Ferguson. That snapped a couple feet over the bar. As the clock is not running here. The clock is still not running. As about 20 seconds did not go off the clock here, as Easton Borman has number 15 on his back right now for a piggyback ride. But it'll be Riker Ferguson that brings it in. So the Pens benefit from an extra about 20 seconds of penalty time. As the Islanders bring it back to center right now with 12 minutes even to play in the third period. Shot behind netminder number 33, Luka Thompson. Getting to that puck is number 4, Mason Fritchie. Fritchie's harassed. Knocked to the ice by number 19. But it's Connor Wilson in flight. Pokes it along to Bingham Green. Rolls off of his stick blade. Getting that puck right back is Connor Wilson on the backhand. Snaps it in. Right pad save from 88. 1:32 to go on the power play. Fritchie, cross-ice pass, unable to handle it as handcuffed with 77. Nenavisa becomes an outlet, but recovering that puck temporarily was Brady Fritchie. 9's in. Right pad save by Luka Thompson to shut things down. As the Islanders were looking for a shorthanded goal with 11:19 to play in the third. Now we're down to 1:12 on the major penalty. Pens cashed in once on the power play, looking for another one, where that pass is read and picked off by the Islanders' number 33. Bumped along further by Green. Green to Fritchie. Fritchie tried to hit Wilson. As it is, Bingham Green tries to curl out. Knocked off of his stick blade. Mason goes to his brother. Brady deflects off the stick blade of Connor Wilson here to the near corner. Wilson loses the stick. Creates an opportunity for the Islanders to bring it back to neutral, where Stark plays it over to number 9, Brady Fritchie. Fritchie now winds it up through the neutral zone with 10:33 to play in the third period. Brady Fritchie behind the cage, stops up. It's got a man in front, tries to bring it out the other side, goes all the way through to Blake Parrish, top of the zone. Shot off the blocker of number 88. 13 to go on the power play now. As it'll be turned over to the Penguins. Brooks Gaworski back to even action. So the Pens get one goal on that major penalty, but back to even strength. Shut down by the Islanders netminder 88. Gaworski looking for a rebound as he has a body on top of him. As we are at the 10-minute even mark here from period number 3, the Jason Ritchie Ice Arena, about an hour west of Boston, Massachusetts. As the Penguins in a 5-game road swing out to Boston. We're victorious in game number 1. Looking for another one here, but a long way to go now with 9:53 to play. Riker Ferguson follows on. Pens with a 3-0 lead. In third period action. That's Blake Parrish and Riker Ferguson trying to dig that puck off the wall. It comes to the backhand of Nico Stark. Stark puts it in behind the cage. The Islanders have to reverse it out the other side. Where skating it back to center are the Islanders. As it's shot. And it's on the outside of the cage behind the right pad of Luka Thompson. He pins it to the wall. Wilson tries to get behind a man who's trying to run some interference on him. Centering pass goes all the way through the crease area. Comes out the other side. Where the Islanders are going to try Nenavisa. Centering pass shot wide of the net by 27 as Loya was able to get a stick on that. 86 curls around Loya. Goes around to the other side. Diving save there by Luca Thompson to shut the door. Luca Thompson says no to 27. With 8:46 to play, it remains a 3-0 lead. The diving save by number 33, Luca Thompson. Connor Wilson on for the draw, across from 13. Nenavisa on his backhand, plays it to Grant Loya. Loya to Davis. Davis works it up for Easton Borman. He curls around the defender. Now it's Wilson taking off his feet. The undisciplined play catching up with the Middlesex Islanders here as they're going to go to the box once again. Offensive zone opportunity on the power play. Stepping in is Ferguson. It's joined by Bingham Green and Mason Fritchie. Backside, Loya and Nenavisa. Comes back to Loya, who picked up a goal earlier today. It's Loya being harassed by number 13. As some time ticks off at the Penguins' power play opportunity. 1:12 now on the power play. Nenavisa comes in to try and dig out this puck. As it's Riker Ferguson back through neutral. Swings it wide to 19, Bingham Green. Green finds this puck once again, knocked off of his stick blade up the half wall to Brady Fritchie. Spins off one guy, but it's going to become an opportunity here as Welch trying to catch. And Welch shuts it down, as well as a poke check from Luca Thompson to shut the door. As the Pens still on the power play, but give up a couple of opportunities as they're looking to send number 11. Connor Wilson's going to delay this back. It's in the skates of Welch, though. As it's going to be another penalty here, 11. As it'll be a 5-on-3 for the next 5 seconds as 11 took out the skates of Wilson. Wilson on for the draw with Gaworski and Paris. Backside, Welch and Fritchie. 5-on-3 action, just a very abbreviated 5-on-3. As somebody will be coming out of the box in just a moment. Wilson has us in his skates. As we're on a 5-on-4 power play situation now. Puck's floated all the way through, getting to that puck, able to recover as Fritchie, as a 2-on-1 developed. The only man back was Welch, unable to get a shot away, are the Islanders. Pens right back on the power play, 1:04 in it as it's shot through the crease area. Pens are changing their D behind the play. Picked off by number 25, Blake Paris. It leaves it for number 7, Nico Stark. Stark curls back into his own zone. Goes across to Grant Loya now. Loya, head of steam, goes in 1-on-4, still has it, as it's a magnet on his stick blade right now. Plays it back to the left-handed point man, Nico Stark. Stark goes wide to Easton Borman, top of the circle, 33 to play. As Borman just crashed into, as it's turned high off the glass, stays in the zone though, as Gaworski puts it off the half wall. And back to the Penguin zone, should be an icing call. And it is an icing call with 15 to go on the power play. 5:52 to play in the third period. 3-0 the score. Be sure to set your agenda for Penguins Elite action later today, 5:55. We're going to head back east a little bit to Merrimack College for game number 3 of the weekend, but game number 2 against the Middlesex Islanders coming up later today. 5:43 to play here from the Jason Ritchie Ice Arena as it's played over from Loya. Stark tries to hit Borman with a pass. It's back to 5-on-5 action. Penalties will expire for the Middlesex Islanders. Loya parts the seas. Knocked off of his stick blade. As trying to hit another man behind the D, or the Islanders hits a stick blade as 11. Canceled out by Fritchie as 11 tried to hold the stick to draw a penalty. Davis loses his stick blade now as we're under 5 to play here from the third period. Davis pressures the Islanders players, comes out now high in the zone into neutral. Nenavisa puts it right back in. Ahead of the play, though, were a couple of boys in black. So offsides is the call. Neutral zone faceoff coming up here on the near side away from the benches in the penalty box area. Wilson, Fritchie, Green, Fritchie, and Nenavisa are the unit for the boys in black and gold. Mason Fritchie in the zone just ahead. He's going to be rung up for a tripping penalty. As the Pens are going to have to kill one off here with 4:45 to go in the third period as the Islanders will go to the power play. As number 4 will sit down for the tripping call. Wilson, he's on the penalty killing unit with Green, Nenavisa, and Brady Fritchie. Nenavisa off the wall to Connor Wilson. It's going to bring it back to the neutral zone, are the Islanders, as they try to go D to D to regroup and set up the transition again as Wilson shuts things down right in open ice. Good play by number 8 on the penalty kill there. 1:06 now to go on the Mason Fritchie minor. As Wilson, 2 points for the takedown as he's brought down in the offensive zone. 52 now to go on the power play for the Islanders. Centering pass rolls off the stick blade of number 13. Nenavisa and him cancel out as Brady Fritchie puts it out of danger here to the wall. And play resumes deep in the Islander zone. 25 to go on the Penguins penalty killer right now. As that's going to be 92's 4th penalty of the game, so he's going to be suspended, I believe. So for the 4th time today, 92 goes to the box. I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm not sure of his eligibility to play in the next game now, later today. As the explanation here ensues. And so he has been ejected, I believe, 92. From the opening face-off, has been a very physical Made some physical choices behind the play. We'll leave it at that. So 92 has been ejected for his 4th penalty of the game, and the Islanders have to put somebody in the box now. So after the game, we'll need to check the score sheet here, as that's his 4th penalty, which I believe results in a suspension for the next game as well. So 92, I don't believe will be on the ice. But depends on the 4-on-4 action right now. Nico Stark taking to the ice with 3:27 to play. It's 4-on-4 action for the next 10 seconds. As Welch is going to go back for this puck. Winds it right back up the wall to Blake Paris. And Pens are on the power play right now. Mason Fritchie sprung from the box, goes right to the tape of Mason Fritchie. As the Pens regrouping here in the neutral zone. Off the stick of number 45, Brooksy Gaworski, 3:05 to play. And it's going to be an icing call. But getting to that is number 11 first. Shot off the outside of Luka Thompson and in the net. As it's a 3-1 game right now. Pens on the power play for the next 45 seconds. 2:45 to play. Loya to Netavisa. Netavisa with his head up. Goes right back to Grant Loya. 29 out on the power play. Reversing now are Fergie and number 777, CJ Nanavisa. 11 to go in the power play behind the cage of the Penguins. It's Easton Borman, goes cross-ice into the slot to Riker Ferguson, snaps in a shot as Davis looking for a rebound there. Takes a shot after the whistle. He's going to get up, and the Pens are going to skate away. Still up 2 goals, 3-1, 2:09. 5 seconds to go on the power play. We'll set things up to the left of netminder number 88. On for the draw is Riker Ferguson. He snapped in that shot. Picking it up is Easton Borman behind the cage now. He stops up the short side. Easton Borman trying to pickle stab that in further, as is Davis. Now Davis gets out of there. And we're back to 5-on-5 action with 2:03 to go in the third. Penalty box is open. Nanavisa, being the gentleman that he is, comes over and closes the box. There for the officials. Under 2 to play here from the Jason Ritchie Ice Arena. The Islanders looking for more. They're going back on the attack, trying to get back into this game. Davis cancels out. Dumps it in deep. And he gets on his horse to try and get to this puck. Davis does win that battle. And Davis thrown to the wall now. Comes now to the faceoff dot. 2 points for the takedown, as we're in WPIAL wrestling rules right now. Behind the net, White and Loya. Loya easily rubs out 27. 27 gingerly goes down, looks for a call behind the play. Not coming, as tried to hit Borman on a breakaway opportunity, but instead it goes all the way down the ice for an icing call with 1:12 to play in the third period. Mason Fritchie on for the draw. Up front with Bingham Green and Connor Wilson. It's one to the wall, back to the point. Off the right skate of Welch. Welch tries to float that ahead to Wilson. Picked off. Welch pickle stabs at it now. It comes all the way through. Shut down by Luka Thompson. And behind the cage, it's Brady Fritchie, number 9. Comes out the other side. Under 1 to play. With 49 ticks of the clock left here from the Jason Ritchie Ice Arena. Penn's maintaining a 3-1 lead. It's Bingham Green forced to the wall. Islanders are going to come out with speed, though. As Welch and Fritchie switch it up. As it's Fritchie now. Cool as a cucumber. Takes it forehand, backhand. Forehand once again. Tries to float a pass up to Connor Wilson. As the net is empty with 19 ticks of the clock left. As it is Nico Stark getting that puck. 11. Leaves it for a teammate. 6-on-5 opportunity. Snapped off the top of the cage, and it's put into the back of the net. With 6 seconds to play, the Islanders get a 6-on-5 goal to make it a 3-2 game. And the Islanders are going to take a timeout here to set up something here with the cage empty. As both teams are at their benches right now, getting some instructions from their coaching staff. Toby Nanavisa giving instructions to the boys on the ice. It'll be Riker Ferguson, Brooks Skawarski, Blake Paris, Nico Stark, Grant Loy, and the man between the pipes, number 33, Luka Thompson. Yawning cage the other way as the Islanders have 6 skaters out on the ice. My assumption here, the Islanders are going to try and hit this forward and jump the face-off. As they have a man offsides, but play will continue. Had a couple guys offsides, and that's going to be it. As the Pens going to walk out of here with a 3-2 victory as Grant Loya dives on top of Luka Thompson. But the final score here, the Pittsburgh Penguins 3, the Middlesex Islanders 2.